everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be doing an unboxing of just some, I guess, random things that I purchased from Altenew recently, and we'll do some swatching and I'll show you how I organize some of the products that I've purchased. I do apologize if you hear dogs and or kids in the background. I'm trying to do this live. I feel like that is a better indication of the products I'm getting as opposed to doing a voiceover. So first off, this is the box. Isn't that beautiful? Like, shut the front door. Altenew packaging, that's beautiful. Kind of makes me not want to get rid of the box. It's a little banged up, but you know, still really beautiful. So this is the box. I'm going to kind of scoot this off camera so I don't beat the camera. And we'll bring this back in. So first things first, I did take like the plastic off of stuff, but this is like my first look at these kind of things. And like I said, we're going to do some swatching. So Altenew, when you make a purchase of a certain amount, they will give you like a free gift, and this was my free gift. So these are these sandy blush enamel dots. These are really pretty. These are really like pretty, almost, I see some like a little bit of purple in these, but there's a great number of sizes. There's 163 enamel pieces here, which is a really good number. And Altenew recently had I think it was a Facebook short, or maybe an Altenew or a YouTube reel, where they showed like all the uses, like 101 uses for enamel dots. So that's kind of a cool feature to have. But yeah, these were my free gift. I didn't actually order these. These were included in my purchase. Also, really quickly, like, you were given this 5% like discount code, which is also pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys know, I don't know if I ever said it, but like, Altenew was one of the first companies that I started purchasing from when I was getting into card making. They were like my first love. I bought all kinds of things Altenew, from stamps to dyes to their inks. And then I started to kind of branch out and get like their alcohol markers, and now they've got like stencils and embossing folders that match with all of their releases and stuff, and that's wonderful, and I love that. But the first thing that I bought was their inks, because they came in quads that were meant to build, and some of the first stamps I bought from them were their ink layering stamp sets, typically florals, because that was my jam. That is still my jam, let's be real. So I will definitely be using that 5% discount code. So one of the ink lines or ink quads that I didn't have is this one. Can you see that? Am I even on camera? Okay. Is this one. This is the Dried Petals Fresh Dye Inks. So recently Altenew kind of redid their ink line. They used to have crisp dye inks, and now they have fresh dye inks. I kind of talked about this in a previous video a while ago, but I really don't see much difference in how the inks behave. From what I've been told, the fresh dye inks have more of a viscous consistency, so they're a little bit thicker, I guess you could say. But when I was comparing and contrasting, like, I really didn't see much of a difference. And maybe that's just me, but I'm just trying to be honest and transparent. I really didn't see much of a difference. So I will buy these as they come out. But I'm not going to go and like replace. Oh, there's a wasp. Oh, hold on. All right, y'all, crisis averted. This is probably why I don't do lives. Okay, back on track. So yeah, that's what this one is. I'm probably not going to transfer all of my inks over to these fresh dye inks just because I have a lot of them. But as the fresh dye inks come out, I will probably buy them. So this is the Dried Petals. And then I wanted to get I didn't think I was, but I gave in just because I like to have all of the colors. These are all of the Amy Tangerine, except for one. These two are from the Amy Tangerine line. They did a, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? A collab. They did a collab with, there we go, there's the word. These are just some really like fun, bright colors, and I am a sucker for a pun, and these have some really fun punny names like Peachy Keen, Tickled Pink, Let Us Celebrate. Love it. Love it. So there's these, and these are the Fresh Dye inks, and then I wanted to get this one also. I think this is just a really fun like summer color palette. So this is the Deco Garden. Oh, the Amy Tangerine ones were Summer Sunrise and Ocean Dreams. So we're gonna actually do a little bit of ink swatching today just so we can see those. If you have watched any of my videos recently, you know that I have been using some paintbrushes from Hobby Lobby. They're from their, oh, what's the line called? I can't even think of what the line's called. Master's Touch. I do not like them. I have struggled with them. I have tried to like them. I've tried to use them. I just don't like them. And so I broke down and I bought some of the watercolor brushes from Altenew. So I got the fine watercolor brushes. These are the round ones. And I also got this other set. And this one comes in like its own little case, which is fantastic. What I might do is put those in there if they won't fit in this one. So let's just kind of see what we got here. Okay. Okay. So that's how it opens from like top to bottom, like a top folding card. Okay. Let's take a look. So we've got a 0, a 3, an 18, a 5, and a 1. So you do get some of these more detailed ones. You get a 1 in this set, and you get a 3/0. I don't understand what that means, y'all. Pretty sure that's not like normal math. Math is not my forte, but I'm pretty sure that is not normal math. Let's see. Let's kind of pull these out of here. Kind of get rid of some of that glare. So one of the first things I noticed that these kind of have this like nice handle like shape, and these are just round, which I don't know that that's like a deal breaker or anything. It's just something I noticed. 1, 2, 4, and 6. You fill in some of the gaps on this one as far as round brushes go. They do come with these little protective covers to cover the bristles. One of the things that I hated about that set from, oh, and I love the gold end on it, from Hobby Lobby, is that my brushes, like the fibers fell out all the time. Like I could just do this and the fibers would come out, and that drove me banana balls. These are not doing that, which is fantastic. These bristles are a little more stiff, which I think will help me. Let's see, there's a 6, that's the biggest. Okay, so the 5 is the biggest here. Okay. I like the point that comes to. I don't know if you can see that. I like the point that comes to. I don't feel like those brushes from Hobby Lobby did that. Like, I don't feel like they were cut to kind of continue to go back to that point. That may just be me. And like I said, I've mentioned in previous videos, watercoloring is not my like forte, not my medium of choice. And so maybe it's just a matter of I need to like use them more, but they would like shed bristles. And I'm pretty positive that like a little bit of shedding is normal, but these shed like a lot. So I don't think I dig that, but those feel good in the hand. And these are their artistry line, which means they're a little bit more expensive, I think. They're definitely more expensive than the ones I got from Hobby Lobby, but we all know that the quality of those was pretty sad. I don't think that I can get these ones in there. I don't think. I might be able to like put a rubber band around this part and put them in there maybe. If I cut like that off. I don't know. I might see if I can like figure out a way to get these all to be in the same little pouch. Oh, nope, that's not going to work because then it doesn't button. Well, maybe. No, I don't think it buttons then. Well, maybe, because if I... So it has this little drawstring, which I didn't know was a thing. So maybe if I pull that string a little bit, maybe I can get it to go over it then. Let's see. Let's put these back in there. Let's see. Nope, that doesn't work. I'm not really entirely sure what the drawstring is for. Maybe just to keep it tight. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Maybe it's just to keep it tight. Those of you that do watercolors or have purchased this set before and understand the purpose of this drawstring here, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I don't think I can get these both in here. I just don't think it'll close. Oh, yeah, it does. Woohoo! Hercules! Okay, that's exciting. I love that. Okay. So those are the watercolor brushes that I bought. And then they had released 2 new artist marker sets since I put this box on the floor. Sorry, it's gonna be loud. They had released 2 more watercolor sets since I purchased my last ones. Not watercolor, alcohol marker. How they've changed their packaging on them is really pretty, and if you wanted to like keep these on display, that would be a really nice way to display these. Plus, you're keeping them in like their family order. One of the things that I've discovered, and I may be changing about how I have been storing these markers, is I just store them in like a color, like all the reds go together, all the oranges and yellows go together, that kind of thing. But I've discovered when I want to color with a specific family, I have to dig through and find them, which isn't terrible. There's not like thousands of colors or hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of colors, but it still takes a little bit of time. And so I kind of am thinking about changing how I am displaying these or organizing them so that they are like these 4 colors are in a row next to one another. And I don't have to like dig through all of my colors to find them, if that makes any sense what I'm saying here. And if I do actually pull the trigger on that, I will like post a little video and tell you where I got all the supplies. I've been eyeballing something on Amazon, and I'm just trying to kind of figure out if I really want to do that and spend the money on that. But anyway, these are the 2 new sets that they've released. And what I did before, I had organized these, like just kind of swatching them out. But I discovered that lately I've been going and just like on a scrap piece of paper swatching them out. And that works okay, but I'm still taking time to like uncap them all and recap them and put them back, the ones that don't work. I think I need to get back to actually having them swatched. And so I just went to the Altenew's website and chose the blank color swatches for their alcohol markers and printed them off with my black and white printer. And then I just used my hole punch and punched a hole and made like I used a piece of scrapbook paper that I really liked and put a piece of acetate over the top of it just so that it had a cover. I'll eventually put like a label on here, artist marker swatches or something. And then I wanted this to be something that I could add to as they come up with more, as they release more colors. I wanted to be able to add to it easily because I was going to originally like spiral bound it. And I was like, but if I do that, then I can't add to it. And I want to be able to add to it. If you had the disc spines, you know what I'm talking about? If it was a disc bound, kind of like the happy planners and that kind of thing, you can add to those and take things out as you need to. So that would be another option as far as having this be more easy to add and take out from. But I have these in my stash and I don't really have any other use for them. So this was a good option for me. And like I said, I can just unhook these and add to or take out. But I went ahead and went to their website and printed off all the ones that I had. And I'm going to go ahead and swatch some of these. Plus, I don't know if I think I've showed you before in a previous video how I organize my artist markers. So they always come with like a colored name. I'll bring that a little closer. They always come with like a family name on them. And then they're in quads, like they're inks. So they come in 4 different colors of the 4 different shades of the same color. So this is Blue Mountain 2. So this is the second darkest. And I'll attach this to that specific marker. And I just printed this out on, because these markers have a black barrel, I just printed these out with my brother label maker, P-Touch label maker, and cut them down a size. And then these stick just fine to my markers. If I needed to peel them off, I can, but they stick just fine. So it's pretty great. And that's how I've been storing them. But like I said, I think I'm going to kind of change that up a little bit because I'm discovering I'm spending a lot of time looking for colors that work. So I think I'm going to try this system out again as far as like swatching. If I discover it's not really working for me, I can just use this cardstock. And this is cardstock that I would color on with these markers. I think that's important to note. So one of the things I'm going to do is if I discover that this system isn't really working for me, this is just scrap cardstock that I can put to die cut from or ink blend or whatever on. So let's go ahead and do just a little bit of swatching. I will probably speed this up just a little bit so that you're not here for all of eternity because your time is valuable. But let me show you how these come. So they come in this little plastic box that you can take out. I kind of wish now that I would have kept them all in their boxes and just displayed them like this, but decisions were made. And so I don't have these boxes anymore. But anyway, they come in all of their color families. So there's a green and a yellow and like a pinky desaturated purple. So let's just grab one. This is Oolong Tea. Talk about that name. Let's see. Oolong Tea is not on set L. It's on set M. So it tells you right here what set this is. I have just been like scribbling a little bit and then doing another swatch over here. So this is Oolong Tea, kind of a bright yellowy color. And then I'm going to swatch it a little bit over here just so I can get an idea of how it blends. I wish Altenew would have something over here to show you like how they all blend together, because that's one of the reasons why I like these markers, is because they are meant to blend. So this is from, what family is this? Icy Lemonade, Citronella, doesn't tell me. Ooh, Wood Warbler is what that one is called. So not only do they have like, this is the Firewood Garden set, but this is the like subset. So Wood Warbler. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. So I went through and this is the label that I made for it. Like I said, this has a black barrel and I printed it with my P-Touch label maker using black with white lettering. And I just put it on the opposite side of their label. Because before, some of my old markers, now they have them labeled Oolong Tea set M and the Firewood Garden set. But before, they didn't have that on there. And so I kind of came up with these own labels myself. And just to have some consistency, I just put that on all of them because this is kind of small and this is a little bit bigger. So that's how I do to all of them. Let me see if I can find these other colors. And I'll show you just one set, how I have been swatching them. And then, let's see. I need Icy Lemonade, which is this one. So this is the first one in that set. So just like a really pale yellow. And then I go over here and try to like give myself an idea of how that gradient actually goes. This is Green Gold, which is the last color in this set. I'm going to swatch that over here and then again down here. And then let's see, Citronella is the last one. Swatch that here. So kind of like almost olivey greens, but not quite. So that's how I've been kind of doing that. And then I will go through and put all of my labels on them. So let me go ahead and put the labels on these and swatch the rest of these and I'll kind of show you what they look like. So this is the Firewood Garden set M with the Dried Petals, Forest Trail, and Wood Warbler. And that's my kind of swatch showing how they are supposed to blend. I did try to make sure I overlapped them because that's how you would actually use them when you color with them. But there is that. set all swatched, and now let's do the Woodland Garden set. And here is the set L. This is the Woodland Garden with Blue Mountains, Woodlandscape, and Frosted Foliage. I really like those. Those are really pretty. These remind me of a pair of shoes that a friend of mine had. These are a really pretty, this is just a really pretty color palette together. Just really pretty. And that's another way that you can think about these is as you're flipping through, it's a good way to get an idea for a color palette. These work well together. Just these three color ways. They work really well together. So if you're ever stuck on picking colors, or you feel like you've gotten into the same routine, maybe look through your swatches and be like, okay, I like these colors. Let's use these. So I think I may go back and actually use some of these colors. But so that's the artist markers that I got, the set L and M all swatched out. Now let's start swatching some of our inks. All right, so let's go ahead and swatch some of these. This is the one that came in a quad. These are meant to kind of go together. I already went and printed and cut out these swatches. These are from Jennifer McGuire. They're free on her website. She is super, super generous. This is a waffle flower, I believe, stamp set that is made for swatching, and I've been using this for years and years and years. It is very well loved. And I'm going to go ahead and swatch some of these out. So as I said before, these are their fresh dye inks. I really have not seen much of a difference in how I craft and how these stamp and blend and that kind of thing, but maybe you see different. I'm going to go ahead and clean these. And we'll keep going. One of the things I will say is that I do recommend swatching out your own inks for a couple of reasons. One, it's incredibly hard for manufacturers to get the color of the ink to match the lid. And if you're just going based off the color of the lid, you might find that you get kind of disappointed. But if you're actually swatching them out yourself, at least for me and how I craft, it makes things go a lot smoother. That may be different for you and how you craft, but for me, I've discovered it makes life a lot easier as far as I spend less time trying to find colors and more time actually crafting. So those will change a little bit as they dry because they are a dye ink. So they're going to literally dye the paper and absorb into the paper. So that's how they work. As they absorb into the paper, they dye it. So they are changing the color of the paper. So let's just kind of take a look at these. Now these are just stamped, as you saw, but let's kind of take a look at these. And it may be different in my lighting, but these look very different. These are pretty close. That one's fairly close. That one's fairly close. But this pink crystal, it almost looks purple in real life. But it's just very difficult for manufacturers to get that to line up. And these aren't too bad. They're actually pretty close. But there's enough of a difference that if you were trying to get really true colors or trying to really stick to a particular color palette, I find having things already swatched out is very, very useful. So this is the Dried Petals quad. And I will put these into my swatch book, and I'll show you that later. But let's go ahead and swatch out some of these Anime Tangerine ones. This is the Deco Garden set of 6. And I have Pool right here. So let's just take a look at this one. Blues and kind of aqua-y colors are some of my favorites. There's a string of this ink pad there. Let me peel that off and try to ink that up a little bit again. Okay, so this is the Pool. Ooh, that's pretty. I'm kind of a sucker for these like aqua-y, turquoisey pool colors. That's really pretty. That's pretty. Okay, let's keep going. I get distracted. Hold on. I'm going to swatch out this whole Deco Garden set and then show you what they look like. All right, here's the Deco Garden set all swatched out. I had this in my thing as mild yellow. It's actually mid yellow, but and that's actually olive. That's not olive. Apparently I don't spell very good, y'all. But anyways, fun color palette again. Really fun. I really like, this is a unique color, and I really like that pool. And of course I'm a sucker for a navy too. So that's a fun color palette also. Okay. Now that I think about it, looking at these colors and they've been swatched, they do look a little bit different than my other Altenew inks, the crisp dye inks. Hold on, let me show you something. It may be kind of hard to tell. So this is the fresh dye ink, okay? This is the crisp dye ink in this hand. They look pretty darn similar as far as like how they stamp. Now, granted, these are supposed to be different colors, but they look a little bit different. This is done on a different kind of paper than this one, but even then, they are a little bit different, I guess. Not enough, like I said, that I'm going to go through and fork over hundreds and hundreds of dollars to change everything over to the fresh dye inks, but I guess they are just a little bit different. But in my eyes and in my opinion, it's very, very slight. So take that for what you will. Okay, let's keep going. So here is the Amy Tangerine collab and it's called Ocean Dreams. This is this set. Again, I think the Let Us Celebrate is probably my favorite punny name. This Easy Breezy is beautiful. Love that. Love that. This silver lining, to me, has a little bit of green in it. But I think if you were to like maybe stamp this off, like do a second generation stamping, I think you could get away with using this one and probably this one, but more likely this one as like a no line coloring ink, depending on what kind of medium you were trying to do the no line coloring with. I think you could get away with that. If you were to do like a second generation stamping of it, I think it'd be light enough. So just another way to kind of get more life out of your projects. Just something I was thinking about as I was looking at it. All right, let's go on to the final bit of our ink swatching. Hold on. Okay, so this is the final one. This is the Summer Sunrise. This is the Amy Tangerine collab. One thing I want to note, there's two things I want to note about this particular color palette. So first off, let's talk about this pink for a minute. Holy cow, talk about neon and like pow in your face. I didn't like exclaim anything when I was swatching these until I got to this pink. It is in your face. It is wonderful. It's super fun. Like, check that out. I didn't stamp it very good, but like, check that out. That is so, I don't have any other colors even remotely like this in my stash. So that's kind of exciting. These 5 are all fresh dye inks. This one is a pigment ink. And I think it's kind of dry because it did not stamp very well. And I think it's kind of dry. But that's not a big deal. I'm not going to get a re-inker for it. I have a different pigment ink that I prefer to use anyway. But that is something that when I was stamping this out, I was like, man, this one's stamping really different compared to the others. And it's because it's a pigment ink. And I think it was a little dry. So those are 2 things that I wanted to note about this color palette. This color makes me want to do some like random ink blending and then put like rainbow neon ink blending and then put like a black medium over the top of it and like a leopard print, because that kind of stuff reminds me of Lisa Frank. I'm showing my age and that's fine, but I grew up collecting Lisa Frank stickers, and this color reminds me of something that she would have in her collection, in her line. So this kind of brings me back to my childhood and makes me smile inside. So anyway, that is all for me. So I really appreciate you spending time with me and kind of hanging out with me for the day for a few minutes. I will list everything that I purchased below, and I guess that's all. So thank you again for spending time with me, and we will catch you next time with a regular video where we create something, probably using some of the products you see here. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye.